Greetings and Happy New Year to you. Well, another year, can you believe it?
It's gone fast.
And we thought we'd start the new year out with something very trendy. And trendy is
Yes.
the word I think is faux. And faux is spelled, and we're going to get into a little bit of a French lesson, F-A-U-X, and it's pronounced faux,
Which
what
is
means false or fake.
okay. And the
So,
reason we're doing this is because I had cabin fever.
who hasn't? It's January in Iowa.
Cabin fever, along with trying to finish a project that I wanted to finish or start 3 years ago, and I just have been too busy, and I had some free time and decided now's the time.
Yeah, this is a perfect time because we're really homebound. And after Christmas and all the holidays and taking down the Christmas decoration, it just one feels empty. I
You
do. And
feel
I
like,
have to do something with my hands.
yes, and you feel like sprucing something up, sprucing a room
Yes.
up. And so I thought I would tackle my bedroom, which I had been wanting to tackle, like I said, for 3 years. So where do you start?
Yeah, where do you start? And like I said, that's the newest trend, fall. And I'd like to thank you for inviting me into your home. And so this is very nice. Thank you. Let's talk about fall or sprucing up. I think that's one of the most inexpensive ways to spruce up your furniture, your walls, anything that you want.
There are several different methods you can use, and
Yes.
I debated on different what I should do. There's smushing, is that right?
Smushing, yes, that's really my favorite. And if you happen to go to some of the theater production, I did one set. It was on Golden Pond,
Yes.
and I did the smushing.
What is smushing?
Method on there. You use paint, latex paint and oil paint, and to get a little bit of a marble effect, you put plastic sheeting on the oil paint while it's still wet. 2 layers of paint, and you choose a darker or a lighter color. It depends on the effect you want. And so you take the plastic sheeting while the oil paint is the glazing and oil paint is still wet, and you put it on the wall and smush it
A big
around.
piece of plastic.
Yeah, it's the most
Like a
inexpensive.
drop cloth?
Yeah, most inexpensive drop cloth that you can find. It has to be thin.
And you
You
stick it on the wet wall.
and then you just take your hands and rub it all over. And you know, the plastic sheeting kind of wrinkles up
Okay.
and makes its own design. Now, this is not for everybody because you cannot control what design you want. So if you want control your design on the wall, that's not I wouldn't recommend that. You have to just totally let go what happens. And the
Yes.
effect is a marble effect.
Now, I thought about doing that. One reason I decided against it was my walls are a plaster, a textured kind of swirl
Right.
plaster, and I was afraid that maybe it would work better on smooth.
Yeah, it works on plaster too, although it's again, you do not have that much of a control what design you want. And so I think the methods that you did suits much better, and we'll show you the effect in a minute.
Okay, now I also thought about doing sponging. I have done sponging before with a natural sponge.
You need to use, I really recommend a natural sponge. As you can see, and you can buy those in a craft store, in a hardware store,
A decorating
very good
store.
decorating store, a paint supply store. They all have it now. Because
And it
we're
works
into-
good because of the way it's natural.
Yes.
The man-made ones are flat and don't have these wonderful little
Yeah, nooks and
things.
crannies, and
Yes.
this is how a sponge grows. This is the underside, but it's also interesting to use.
And this one I ripped apart. It was
Oh.
larger than that. It was twice the size.
Yeah, they come in also different sizes, Susan. And what you can do is you can rip them apart or cut them apart. It's very economical.
Something else that these are used for is applying makeup.
Yes.
Very good for makeup.
Very good for makeup if you put a foundation on and kind of want to get more the natural look. So a lot of people use that. And also just taking a simple bath, bubble bath, and using
Right,
that.
right. So get a sponge and rip
And
it
you'll
into
have
several
fun.
pieces and you'll have all kinds of uses. So I thought about sponging, and I had done that, but I thought I wanted to try something new. So I did go to you and I talked to you and I got this book. And there was one other thing in here that I just loved. There was a sponging, which you have done to your countertop.
Yeah, you have been in my kitchen, and I did the sponging on my kitchen counter.
Which is gorgeous.
So that was a lot of fun.
It talks in here different bagging, how to just use plastic bags and drag it around like on your
Right.
cabinets.
On the cabinets, you can use plastic bags. You can use all kinds of material. You can use perforated cardboard. You know, when you cut
Yes.
it, it has these little waves.
Now that would be a little bit like this
Absolutely.
tool that I bought.
Yes. It
For
has
dragging?
the same kind of ridges.
And you would paint a dark color on the wall or light.
Yes, and that's a good point. If you start a project, first of all, you decide on the colors. You get a darker color and a lighter color, and then I really would recommend that you make a sample board.
That's probably a good idea. I didn't do that, so I kind of experimented.
But then also you have a very good sense of color, and since you're an artist, you work with colors all the time.
Oh, well,
but not all of us are do have a good sense of color, and it would be awfully sad if you start and you don't like it.
Yes, I can imagine that happens a lot. One other thing that I liked in this little book that was interesting was 3-color, and I thought about using this. It's you take your paint pan
Yes.
and you divide it into 3 places,
Yes.
and you pour 3 different colors of paint.
Yes.
Here it shows 2 blues and a white.
Yes.
And then you take your roller and put it in there,
Yes.
and you actually roll 3 colors of paint on your wall at a time.
Yes. It's a nice method, but I think I wouldn't try that when you first start out.
Have you done that before?
I haven't done that yet, but of course I will try that. But if you start with faux finish, start with your dragging, your sponging, and also your ragging or stippling.
You know a little bit more what you're going to get.
Yes.
The colors would be dangerous in that other one too.
Colors,
You could get mud.
You can get mud, and also you can get a combination that you probably
That you
would
don't.
like when you see them individually, but when you pour them or when you have the different
Yes.
section. So that's really something for after you have used and worked with faux finishes a lot.
Yeah, so I'd
So that-
recommend checking out something like this and talking to you about.
Yes, you can go to your local decorator store or a very good paint store, and they have wonderful material. And I think the sales staffs are very knowledgeable about this.
Yes.
The paint companies send their employees. Or
Even when you think you know what you want, like I did, I like to have the reassurance behind a professional that does this all the time.
Yeah.
And the way I started, I had bought the bedspread and the window treatments and some of the other things in the room 3 years ago in the hopes of redecorating this room. And I didn't get around to painting. And finally, I went and I picked out some color samples, and I actually matched them to like the pillowcase and the bedspread. And I chose this as my darkest color, and then, which is a little darker, and then this is a lighter color to wash on top of it, which is actually the same color. And so I did that.
Yeah, and then also, if I may interrupt you for a second, if you go to your local paint store, they have paint chips like you're showing
Yes.
us right now. Do take them home. Because
Yes.
some of the stores have fluorescent light, and there's a difference.
I almost didn't, but the lady helping me said,
Yeah.
take these home. And I thought, oh, I want to get started today. I want to decide right now. But I thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I took them home and I took maybe 7 or 8
Good
samples,
for you.
and I changed them around from what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's look at the wall closer. Can we get to the wall?
Can we get to the wall?
Now this is the plaster with a swirl effect, and I painted it the dark color first, and then I washed it with that second color.
Now, Susan, you also used a semi-gloss or pearl base, didn't you?
Yes.
And then you used the lighter color, a flat.
Yes. Now, it did turn out that I didn't feel like it was quite as light as I wanted. This room was
Yes.
all white, and it was so light, I got used to it. So I had another color that I painted my walls and ceiling and everything, and I actually washed over a third color.
Okay, good.
So I learned with the first color, it was very dark, that I needed the last coat to make it as light as I wanted. And you can see on the ceiling, if you can get to the ceiling, I wanted to do something special here. This is an octagon type shape here in the turret of the ceiling that's raised, and I wanted to do something different. And I thought about sky color, blue, but I was afraid to introduce a blue in here.
I like the same colors in here. It just ties it together. And then I also like how you stenciled the stars up there. It just pulls everything together. And if we get a chance, we can look at your lovely window treatments. The shears have stars, golden stars printed on, and so it really ties it together nicely.
And I did, pick that out beforehand, so I knew I wanted kind of a star theme.
Good.
And did the ceiling just like the wall, and then I actually stenciled those on, and I can get stencils here.
Now these are pre-cut stencils you bought in a craft store or paint store?
Right. And what style do you call this?
I would say this is Greek Revival. It looks very much like Greek Revival, but I think they have such a big variety of stencils.
They do.
Anything you want, from floral to architectural to whimsical, anything.
Yes, they're fun. And when you do them, like when I did the stars on the ceiling, I didn't want to use the whole border of the stars. I just picked out one, and so I masked some masking tape around it and put it on there. And then you buy the special stencil brush and just take the paint.
It's very easy.
Which the paint, I used this cream, which is not drippy. Okay. It's a real nice dry cream.
Is it maybe almost like gold leaf?
Yes, I picked out a gold to go with everything else.
So it's a gold leaf. I mean, anything.
Very inexpensive too. This was like $1 or $2 for this, and just went to work on this.
Wonderful. And if we can look at your stenciling again up there, it is very light, and then I think it goes with the theme of the bedroom, light.
Yes.
And the gold, and you have a lot of gold in here. It just gives you an elegant feeling.
Now, since I decided on this theme 3 years ago, my sense of decorating has changed a little bit, and I wanted to do something different. Mm-hmm. So the way I went was I wanted to add some like leopard skin.
Animal print.
Animal print.
Well, it's really hot right now.
Yes. So I was excited about that.
And you see animal prints and animals' skin and snake and all these things that are so hot right now, they still have a brown or yellow tone. So it goes very well with the gold.
Over here on the chair, I picked up a lot of accents in the pillows. And then a little light lamp over there. Sometimes these don't show up very good on camera when you have the light.
We have a fairly bright day, and this room has a lot of windows. So I hope our viewers get an idea
Now, I would like to get a chair that has some leopard skin on it too,
Yes.
to add. And then I thought about, with these wicker chairs that I've had forever and had them all different colors around the house,
Yeah.
about actually sponging them with these 3 colors. And maybe in the spring I'll
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, it's very pretty. And then we also have a visitor right now.
Oh, yes,
we
our
have
cat.
to show her. She just came in and she's sitting in the window, and actually, she adds to the
The decor,
to
the wild decor.
So you see, this is a
She's
very
going to head out here.
fashionable house. The animals just fit perfectly into the decor.
The color
Way to
scheme.
go, Susan.
Oh, so I've pulled the piece there that we're looking at. The top piece I bought at an auction.
And
Very
a fine-
inexpensive,
Yeah.
maybe $2 or $3.
Yeah.
But it fit with what I
Again, a
wanted.
lot of gold and ivory in there. And it all
Color.
pulls- yeah.
All the
pulls together.
color is really important.
Yeah.
And these are colors easy to live with and that I've had for a while, that I move around.
Yeah. Now let me ask you. So the base coat needs to dry. It's
Yes.
important that the base coat needs to
Yes.
dry. And so, did you let it dry
I
a day?
let this
or-
dry overnight or a day.
Mhm.
But let's come in the bathroom
Good.
in here, and
Good.
this I did a little different. Let's we'll stop and reset the camera.
Okay. Well, we're back and we're here in the master bedroom.
Yes, in the bathroom, and we were just saying this is a real show. This is real people. This is a real bathroom. So
And
I
it
have
has
junk.
a closet, and it's part of you. And I also want to point out, before you get into the technique, what you did. You can't decorate around the things you have. You
Yes.
don't need to demolish everything and start over again. I know you had the tiles when you built a home. And when did you
Yes.
build a home?
About 12 years ago, and I laid all the tile myself.
I know
So
you
all
did.
of this, I wanted something neutral to change with the times, and if this fit right in with what I wanted.
Beautiful, Susan.
And also the color of the tub
Yes.
is the same. It's actually as close to the paint color as I could get, kind of an almondy color.
Yeah.
Called
Very
Lily
soft.
of the Valley.
Is it really?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. And I picked out some towels
Yeah.
to go.
Look at those towels.
Those were kind of an inspiration to get this whole thing going.
And see, and that's the thing. You go somewhere, and we all do it. We pick up things, and sometimes they end up in a closet for
Yes.
years and years.
Yes.
But one day they'll come out, and they're
Yes.
just perfect.
The actually the pottery there, the big bowl and the pitcher, I got from an artist in Ken and Ingemai Knudsen Adams in Bentonsport maybe 20 years ago.
Isn't that something?
And it's been in different parts of the house, but
Yeah.
it fits in here perfect. I even went so far as to find some little tortoise shell
Yeah,
type.
and these are fake tortoise shells.
Yes. Yes.
You can't find them anymore. They're outlawed. I mean, they will not make new things that are tortoise shell.
Right, right. But these little, just the little accent pieces, inexpensive, more towels.
Yeah, I love what you did. A wooden box. and you
Another auction find for nobody wanted it, so for $3 I found this wonderful box.
Isn't that great?
And then roll them up and add some sponges and little things.
Yeah. Just lovely.
And the artwork I've had and kept. You can find little accent pieces like little star bath bead things.
Yes.
Just fun little accents that don't cost very much that add. And as far as the finish, this wall is a smooth wall except for the ceiling, which is the swirled plaster. And I did this because I thought I would eventually wallpaper in here. And I haven't done it.
Well, you have done something else. You use your full finish technique. So what have you done in here?
In here I did the same finish, except I learned in the other room that the 2 colors didn't get me light enough. So this time or the 3 colors that it took, this time I just did the darkest color and then the lightest color.
So you reversed it.
Yes. And then also, I think my paint was maybe a little wet. I didn't let it dry as long.
Uh-huh.
And it worked a little different than my other wall. So you learn.
Yes, but it turned out great. I think it's wonderful. Tell us a little bit how you achieved the corners, because that can be tricky with sponging and ragging.
Yes, and I do have some little places I need to touch up.
You,
In the other room, I made the mistake of getting some dark on the ceiling, thinking, oh, I can fix that later. It's no big deal. I don't have to be careful. Well, then I had to paint and paint and paint to cover it up. So when I came in here, I thought, oh, I'm going to be extra careful, and I'm going to not even come to the edge.
right.
Well, that wasn't really that great either, because now I have this little line. And so I think I'm going to have to take a little tiny paintbrush and
Yes.
go around with a dark color and fix that.
But it's so easy to be fixed.
Yes.
Because and you don't go with your brush and make a line. You just take your brush and you go like this. It's
Yes,
fun.
yes.
It's kind of dinking around, isn't it? I call it dinking around.
Yeah. Talking about dinking around, I just discovered this. I used to mix up my own plaster every time I wanted to fix a crack or a nail hole.
Yeah.
And I discovered this really neat stuff.
Ready mix.
And it dries, and you can paint over it immediately, and you can fill holes and cracks, and I think every household should have some of this
And it
around.
doesn't, and I don't think it shrinks either.
It's
and I think
wonderful.
if you're really careful, there's hardly any sanding to be
Yes,
done.
it's
so
wonderful.
That's a great thing. on the
Ready-made,
market.
always there, ready to use. So pick some of that up. I also got this border to go with my bedspread 3 years ago.
See?
And this is the only thing left that I have to do. And I should ask you, where you think I should put this? Should I put it in the bedroom? Should I put it in the bathroom?
I would put it in the bathroom.
In the bathroom to pull that room in here?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I would put it, let me rephrase it. I would put it in the bathroom, this border.
Okay.
Because I think this will take a little bit away from your window treatment and your bed treatment.
And I already have the stenciling
You
and the
have
stars.
the stenciling in that, and that should be also a focal point.
Yes.
Borders seem to, your eye goes up automatically where your border is. It would be lovely in there because the colors are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your beautiful window treatment and bed treatment would kind of lose.
Yes, I think that's why I hadn't done it yet, is because I just wasn't sure that maybe it would fight with it and be too much.
Mm-hmm. Now, if another solution is, and if you want to get some border, your local retail store can order you samples. Some are free and some are not, if you decide on some patterns. And then, if you're not sure where to put it, how high, or where to put it, I always recommend that you just tape it on.
Oh, good idea.
Just tape it on.
Good idea.
And then look at it.
This could be another place where maybe I could pick up a little accent with the leopard. I don't know if they have that,
Yes,
but
I think that they're coming out leopard, anything you want.
yes,
You know.
I guess I dressed for
Yes,
this too, didn't
neat.
I?
So you're really in.
Oh, so if you have cabin fever, this is a
Oh,
great
there's the-
time to try out some of these things. You can't get outside.
It's too bad. And you create something beautiful. And it's very fulfilling. I know when I
Yes.
did my countertops, my boys would just say,
Mm.
"You're going to do it yourself, Mom." And it was really fulfilling to do it when you're all done.
Oh,
it's
the
just,
accomplishment when you get all
Yes,
done. It
yes,
feels great.
yes.
It looks good, and you haven't had to pay someone else to do it.
Absolutely, and it saves money,
Mhm.
and it's a kind of a pride thing. You can kind of show
Yes,
off your
I
skills.
Have this thing where I try and do as much as myself as I can.
Absolutely, and your local retail stores can help you, support you, and of course they want to sell you
Yes.
things, but they're there to give you advice and support.
Yes. So we're going to do another show.
Yes.
What is the next show going to be?
And I think we're just going to do window treatment. And you're going to come to my house, and I have different window treatments all over the
Okay.
house. And we can also talk about different styles. And I'll give you
Okay.
the specific names. So if you're lucky enough to get a decorator in your house, and she talks about cornice boards and things like this, you will say, "Oh, I just know what that is."
Yes.
So I'd be glad to share my home with you, and I think we'll have some fun.
Okay, so something else to do when you're stuck inside in the winter is think about your window treatments.
Yes. So that's it for this show, Susan.
Well, thank you for coming to my
Thank
home.
you for having us, and I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon. Next time you'll be on the other end of the camera.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Richard, for taping.
Thank you.